You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Venus Day, happy Friday, and happy weekend. It's also a very happy birthday for Elton John, Aretha Franklin, okay, star power of Aries season. We also have Sarah Jessica Parker's birthday today, Vladimir Kitschko, I probably said that wrong, Catherine McPhee, Big Sean, Jenny Slate, lots of big personalities have birthdays on March 25th. Oh my goodness, Kyle Lowry, Danica Patrick, wow, Ali Machaca, if you ever watch the Disney Channel, let's see. Lots, Gloria Steinem. They just keep coming for these March 25th birthdays. Tomorrow, Leslie Mann, Keira Knightley, Diana Ross, Jennifer Grey, Steven Tyler celebrate birthdays. You can see the strong Aries that we're entering the world this time of year. Jonathan Groff has a birthday tomorrow. Amy Smart, James Caan. Lots of actors, lots of singers. Kenny Chesney has a birthday on March 26th. Super fun. And then just for fun, we'll see who has birthdays on Sunday. Okay, well, maybe the most famous Aries of all, Mariah Carey has a birthday this Sunday, March 27th. Quentin Tarantino, Brenda Song, Fergie. I mean, all of these people are just like fiery and bold, very Aries. Jessie J also has a birthday this Sunday. Lots of fun celebrity birthdays. So if you have a birthday coming up, if it's your birthday today, maybe over the weekend, or you want to give someone a shout out, let me know in the comments and we will celebrate them together. So today we're going to talk through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the energy heading our way, how to best navigate the weekend. Today we have the final quarter moon, so we're really in this releasing phase emotionally, but we also have some major activity happening with Mercury. We've been talking about this for the past couple days. Mercury has been stealing the show in its final swim through watery Pisces, and Mercury is going to move into a new sign, Aries, on Sunday. So really picking up that Aries energy, we can channel all those famous people we just talked about into our communication over the next couple weeks. So let's jump right in. But first, we'll start with today's affirmation. And that is, I speak my peace with grace. I speak my peace with grace. The reason we are focusing on this affirmation for Friday is because Mercury, the planet of communication, speech, thought, words, is squaring off to Lilith. And that could make us a little spicy this Friday. So remember, Mercury formed a conjunction to Jupiter on Sunday, then Neptune on Tuesday, I believe, squared off to, formed a sextile to the North Node. It'll form another sextile tomorrow that we'll talk about. So Mercury every day this week has been doing the most, making itself known in its last little transit through Pisces. And with Pisces being the last sign of the zodiac, there might have been conversations that have been very healing or given you some closure over the past few weeks with Mercury in Pisces. You might have also found yourself just kind of like in la land, dreaming a little bit more as Mercury has moved through Pisces, one of its weakest positions. So there's not been a whole lot of clarity, but as we'll talk about in a moment, when Mercury moves into Aries, things are going to change. The energy is going to change quite a bit. But before that, Mercury's making 2 more really strong connections, really packing a punch, giving us a show in its last moments in Pisces. And tonight, I should say, Friday night, 9 p.m. Pacific time, Mercury squares off to Lilith. So what does this mean? All right, so here's our chart. Mercury's over here at the very end of Pisces. Doesn't even look like he's in Pisces anymore because we've got a ton of activity going on at the end of Pisces on our chart. But still in Pisces. And here we go. We saw the conjunctions over here. We saw that nice angle to the North Node yesterday. Today, here's Lilith squaring off to Mercury. Both of them in mutable signs too. But Lilith has been in Gemini. Lilith is going to move into Cancer in the next couple weeks during Aries season, actually. So Lilith is, at the end of its transit in Gemini. And Lilith is known as the black moon, the dark moon. It's the point on the moon's orbit, which is not perfectly circular, where the moon is the farthest from the Earth. So kind of the darkest, shadowiest point in the moon's orbit. In mythology, in the Bible, Lilith was this figure who was made as an equal to Adam, the first woman, if you will. And she didn't want to be a submissive. She believed she should be equal. So that didn't quite work out for her. She kind of rebelled. She stood up for herself. So Lilith has to do, when we're talking about astrology, a lot with our own need to stand up for ourselves, any sort of like oppression or shadows that have been cast on us. We're freeing ourselves from them. It's kind of a rebellious energy and definitely a strong, maybe a little bitchy energy. So I say that because specifically with Mercury and Lilith, she's going to come across through our words and thoughts a little bit more. And with Mercury in Pisces, did I say Mercury and Lilith? Lilith and Gemini is what I meant. Mercury in Pisces, our communication isn't quite as clear. So how is this going to show up for us today? Well, tonight specifically, when Mercury squares off to Lilith, because Mercury does move very quickly, these transits aren't quite as long, which is nice. But a square is the most tense transit, and this could feel like you really have a strong urge to speak out, speak your truth, speak up. But we're going to want to watch our words, watch how we're saying things. We have to make sure that the person on the other end of the conversation is actually going to receive what we're saying for it to be effective. The dark nature of Lilith really makes us prone to being a little harsh or saying things in a really strong way, being mean potentially, especially because Lilith is in Gemini. We're going to be like quicker to verbalize these things that have been kind of like weighing on our heart. So try not to be bitchy just for the sake of getting your point across. Remember, you can be effective in your communication without being mean. You also might feel this strong urge to communicate your ideals with Mercury and Pisces, like what you're standing up for, what you think is right. But remember, also coming across as a know-it-all or holier than thou probably isn't going to get you where you want to go either. So, this can cause tension, arguments. It can just, like I said, make it feel this real need to speak your piece or get something off your chest or declare your sovereignty or whatever it looks like for you. It's definitely going to make communication a little bit spicier, maybe a little bit more tense today. Like I said, Mercury is really packing a punch on its last little swim through Pisces. And then, as I mentioned, we have the last quarter moon in Capricorn today. So the moon is in its weakest position in Capricorn. We are the farthest disconnected from our intuition when the moon is in Capricorn. We're a little bit more cold and distant, maybe even a little bit more protective of our emotions, just kind of. It's not necessarily a bad thing. There are no bad placements. There are no bad transits, but we can be a little like cutting someone off in cold blood with the moon in Capricorn. Now that actually works to our benefit under a last quarter moon because this is the time to release and let go. And Capricorn energy asks us to be very practical and helps us be more grounded and practical. So it'll be easier to just, if you have this practical realization, like this thing is no longer serving me, this is not getting me where I want to go, especially with the focus on our long-term goals with the moon in Capricorn. If something is not in line with where we're going, the direction we're heading, the 5-year plan, the Capricorn energy is going to allow us to cut that off without feeling much remorse. So it's, even though the moon is in kind of a weak position, it actually plays to our benefit under the last quarter moon. But remember, especially with Mercury squaring off to Lilith, even if you're sure of your decision to let go, to cut someone off, to cut the cord, to release that limiting belief, whatever position you're in, if there is someone else involved, remember that being too harsh can leave an energetic imprint. You're trying to cut the cord, but if you are too harsh and directing too much negative energy at someone, the cord is still going to be there. You know what I mean? Like there's still going to be like resentment, even if you feel cleared from whatever that was. If the other person has a stronger energetic attachment to it, or has like this really intense reaction and it affects them, like there's still going to be some fallout from that. So remember, being cold and distant doesn't always necessarily mean a clean break. And so having compassion, leaning into Mercury and Pisces, being a little bit more empathetic in our communication, being more graceful with ourselves as well, because we can be kind of harsh when the moon is in Capricorn. That can really help us move through this releasing phase with more ease. We might be more protective though, and more kind of guarded. So we, got to soften a little, like allow yourself to release in a nice, gentle way. Don't be such a ice queen in Capricorn fashion. Okay, so a couple different connections the Capricorn moon makes today. First, it squares off to Chiron. This is happening right now, 10 a.m. to be exact. But you can see on our chart here, the moon over here in Capricorn squaring off to Chiron in Aries, both of them at 11 degrees. So if 11 degrees is a prominent point for you in your chart, I would say you're going to feel this a little more strongly maybe than the rest of us. And the moon squaring off to Chiron is putting us in a position to be triggered. A square, we talk about this, it's that 90-degree angle. It's a harsh angle. It can cause agitation or conflict, and it can make it difficult to act from a place of healing. So don't be surprised if this Friday something triggers you or an old wound is reopened. Especially with the moon in Capricorn, we tend to emotionally kind of go back to the past pretty easily, and the past can be pretty painful. So as the moon is asking us to release, if something is being triggered or provoked, or you're feeling that like reaction, or maybe even blindsided by like something you didn't think was going to trigger you or like offend you, and it does, that's a really great place to look at what needs releasing. That could be an opportunity to be like, do I really want to feel this way every single time someone says that thing in a certain way, or every time I see this random thing that triggers a horrible memory or something, So pay attention to how you're reacting. Is this how I want to react? How can I do things differently in the future? Where can I release? Where can I loosen my grip? Where can I let go? Then at noon, so we're coming into this transit, we get a little change of pace, which is really nice. And you might be already feeling kind of the excitement of this Friday. So the moon, when it hits 12 degrees, is going to form this nice, harmonious trine to Uranus. And when the moon is trine Uranus, we are feeling excited. We are feeling good vibes. We want to thrill, but we can easily step into doing something a little bit differently. This is like a positive disruption to our mood. So especially if you got that trigger earlier in the day, or maybe you woke up not feeling your best, expect by midday for the energy to shift a little bit, feel a little bit lighter, more fun, maybe even more eccentric. Like this could be a surprise encounter or opportunity. You might feel a little bit more wacky this afternoon. And as the moon and Uranus are harmonizing, they're also putting the focus on our future, with the moon in Capricorn having us really emotionally aware of our long-term goals. And Uranus is the planet of the future, envisioning possibilities. So we're able to kind of, our good mood comes from this like, okay, how do I want to feel in the future? How do I want to move forward? And we can look to the distant future with confidence too. You know, we can give ourselves like a little bit of credit, like, okay, we have the ability to see all the possibilities. And we're more willing to try something new, lean into maybe a new exciting opportunity on Friday afternoons. So if you're feeling a little like inkling of excitement, just let yourself. That should come through pretty naturally with this trine. It's a really easy angle to work with. And like, let yourself, trust it. You know, the moon is giving us a little break from all the clashes with Mercury and tense energy we've been feeling. This is a nice moment this afternoon. And then the final connection the moon makes today, while it's still in Capricorn, this Friday night at midnight, the moon forms a sextile to Jupiter. So when the moon hits 19 degrees, it'll form this nice 60-degree angle with Jupiter in Pisces. Another very abundant, beautiful transit, makes us feel optimistic. We'll have more energy. It brings abundance. This could have you burning the midnight oil if you really want to lean into good vibes, like, and you are down for a party tonight. You'll be able to lean into it easily. You'll be able to stay up easily if that's something you want to do. Even with the moon and slow and steady Capricorn, like, any positive connection to Jupiter is like, okay, let's go. Like, we're ready to party. So we'll be more social, outgoing, maybe even more generous. But if you're like, okay, I'm not feeling going out tonight, which is, you know, totally understandable, leaning into a spiritual practice can actually be a great way to use this transit as well tonight when the moon and Jupiter are supporting each other, because Jupiter rules higher learning. So maybe like learning something new or trying a new spiritual practice for release, because we're in this releasing phase of the moon. It could be especially powerful tonight. But remember, when we're talking about this 60-degree angle, this sextile, there is a need for us to put a little bit of work in. So if we're wanting to go out and party, of course, we're going to have to put ourselves out there, be willing to kind of get out of our comfort zone and you know, make the first move. Or if we're wanting to release and use Jupiter's abundant energy to help us release, we have to try something new, or we have to like take the moment to sit down and lean into a spiritual practice. So whatever that looks like, you're going to have to add just a little bit of your own work in. But overall, this Friday, once we move past the moon square to Chiron, the energy is going to feel really positive. And even though the moon's in Capricorn, maybe we're not super in tune with our emotions, we're still feeling good vibes as Uranus harmonizes with the moon. Jupiter forms a sextile to the moon. However, Mercury, as it's still swimming through the end of Pisces, is making a splash, squaring off to Lilith, and could be hard to hold back strong words. We're really going to have this urge to speak our piece, which can be cathartic under the last quarter moon. It could be a cathartic release to speak up for what's important to you. Just remember, it's how you're saying it that's going to make the difference. So really trying to lean in that compassionate, empathetic energy of Mercury in Pisces, because we could have miscommunication. Mercury is not in a strong position here. We want to really be sensitive and gentle, which won't feel quite as natural with the moon in Capricorn. So it's going to take a little extra effort to communicate and get whatever we need to get off of our chest out, doing so in a way that's not going to cause confrontation with whoever we're speaking with. So that's what's going on this Friday as we go along. Let me know if you have any questions. But now let's move on to Saturday, March 26th. Lots of celebrity birthdays this weekend. I can't believe that, you guys. How many famous people are, well, actually, of course I can believe how many famous people are Aries. They're willing to like put themselves out there and go for it. So it makes sense, but lots of divas. So we're talking about Mercury yet again on Saturday. Like, the end of Mercury in Pisces is not playing around. Like, this is where the most action has been with Mercury in Pisces. So tomorrow, let's jump ahead on our wheel here. Tomorrow, Mercury is going to form a sextile to Pluto. Very fitting for Mercury's last connection before it moves into a new sign. And it's just very fitting in general right now that Pluto is at such a high degree, because it's like anytime any other planet or the moon connects with Pluto, it's doing so at the end of its cycle. And Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. So Pluto's influence on Saturday is really going to ramp up that energy of release, help us let go. This could be transformative as well. Don't be surprised if you have some really profound, powerful, transformative conversations this Saturday or over the weekend in general. So Mercury is forming this 60-degree angle to Pluto. Take a look at the chart if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can see Mercury over here in Pisces, forming this nice supportive angle to Pluto and Capricorn. Now, this is actually happening at, I just realized we're a day behind. Okay, hold on. I went an hour ahead, not a day ahead. Okay. Still though, Mercury is at 28 degrees, Pluto is at 28 degrees. So also a great time to look at where 28 degrees in Earth signs or 28 degrees in Pisces falls in your chart. This could be an idea of what that conversation will be about that's coming up for you. And it might not even be a conversation with someone else. It could be like an internal dialogue, a journal practice, something like that. But when Mercury and Pluto lock into this supportive angle, mind you, it happens at 3:33 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday. So this could definitely come up for you on Friday or Sunday as well. But Saturday is going to be this day where powerful conversations are possible. Pluto works with the subconscious, our subconscious beliefs, and Mercury getting support from Pluto allows those subconscious beliefs or thoughts to come through more easily, especially with Mercury and Pisces. Our rational mind is open to things that aren't necessarily clear, right? It's not quite rational, actually, our rational mind. So don't be surprised if this isn't a conversation with someone else, it's a conversation with your spirit guides. Messages can come through more easily for sure this weekend. Intense downloads can happen, especially if you put a little bit of work into this and quiet your mind down enough either through dreams or meditation or just, taking a walk in nature and like allowing your mind to rest and get into that place where the subconscious can start to open up a little bit. So opening your perception can really allow you to use the energy of this sextile to release fears, to release limiting beliefs by allowing them to surface, allowing them to come up and come into your awareness so you can, set the intention to let them go. And that's really all you'll need is that awareness for them to be released from your like emotional holding on to them. But you have to be willing to go there and get quiet or go there and have that compassionate, empathetic conversation with Mercury and Pisces. There has to be a willingness on your part. Journaling first thing when you wake up could be a really powerful way to use this transit as well, especially if you've been having intense dreams. I know a lot of you have. Journaling first thing in the morning on Saturday, like have the journal next to your bed Friday night and write down what you dreamt Saturday morning. That can really help you unpack some of what your subconscious is trying to work through and has been trying to work through while Mercury has been in Pisces. So journaling, any sort of like writing, talking can be really, really transformative and powerful when Mercury forms this sextile to Pluto, and having those conversations, being empathetic, being vulnerable, allowing yourself to go deep with someone else. Pluto likes to have those deep conversations and get to the bottom of it so you can let it out and be reborn. We could gain a deeper understanding in general if we go there and be more vulnerable. So compassion is really key in our communication. I mean, really always, but especially when Mercury connects with Pluto in this way. And then the moon enters Capricorn, it's still in Capricorn on Saturday, and it's making some positive connections actually pretty much all day before the moon moves into Pisces. So we're still going to be feeling that sextile to Jupiter Friday night into Saturday morning. I would not be surprised if you're still awake at like 2 a.m. Saturday morning if you do kind of try to use that Jupiter energy to party it up a little bit. But it'll be good vibes, very social, or, this could look like really positive dreams if you're sleeping at this point. Either way, this is a positive transit, even if you're in a subconscious state. Then at 6 a.m., the moon is getting support from Neptune in Pisces. So we're waking up under this kind of dreamy, supportive angle Saturday morning. We can easily integrate our dreams into our conscious awareness, which is really nice. We can practically interpret our dreams as the practical moon is getting support from Neptune. So again, waking up Saturday morning, having that dream journal could be really cool, specifically just because of the transits this Saturday. This could be a really powerful practice, and really the overall vibe of this sextile between the moon and Neptune could bring some like levity and romance and dreaminess to the energy of the practical, serious Capricorn moon. So it's always welcome when we have this nice, gentle, loving Neptune energy kind of infused with the moon in Capricorn, such a serious moon. And at 10 a.m., the Capricorn moon harmonizes with the North Node. Now, this can help us like plan for the future, easily see the future, understand the lessons, understand the direction, understand the next steps forward on our path, our purpose. We're also getting support from the South Node too. We're easily able to integrate the lessons we've already learned and push forward in the direction of continued learning. This is just allowing us to integrate lessons. We should be a little bit intentional about this, but this could be like a reflective moment on Saturday morning. This is 10 a.m. that the moon and the North Node connect. And then at 3 p.m., the very last connection the moon makes is actually a double connection. The Capricorn moon meets up with Pluto in the sky, and at the same time forms a sextile to Mercury, because Mercury and Pluto are forming a sextile to one another. So the moon gets in the mix of all of that at 3 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday. And this can bring an emotional awareness to whatever that conversation is that you need to have. This can allow you to kind of bring your mature, responsible adult self to the table. And it could make you a little bit more harsh or cold, but so we're really going to want to lean into that empathetic communication like we talked about. But when the moon connects with Mercury and Pluto, like this is the moment to break down those emotional walls. This is the moment of release. This is taking everything that's been coming up and allowing it to finally surface, alchemizing it into something new, allowing yourself to pull the lessons from the pain and really finally like move forward, especially with this being Mercury's very last moments in Pisces, the final sign of the zodiac. This could just be like a powerful realization on Saturday. As long as we're just open and kind and empathetic in our communication, I can't emphasize that enough. The energy on Saturday is so potent and powerful for us to work with, for transformation, for release. Release is really the big name of the game on Saturday. And our affirmation on Saturday actually is, my thoughts and words are spells, giving me the tools I need to transform. So remember that. Even the thoughts just playing out in your own mind are spells you're casting for yourself. So, be really intentional about how you're speaking to yourself. Are you being too hard on yourself? The Capricorn moon can definitely make us do that. Really finding that grace for yourself and knowing that worrying and doubting and expressing those things can be cathartic and helpful, but lingering on those limiting beliefs can turn them into reality. So this is the time to release them, not to dwell on them, right? We're casting a spell anytime we say a word. So just remember that. Be very intentional about communication all weekend. And then the moon is void from 3 to 6 on Saturday. So this is the time to take a chill pill. This is Pacific time of rest, integration, maybe a nice afternoon nap. Like don't start anything new from 3 to 6 p.m. The moon is just like kind of hanging out, waiting to move into Aquarius. Also, if there was an intense conversation with this sextile between Mercury and Pluto, that's definitely a possibility that a conversation or communication gets a little bit too heated or mean. The void moon is a great time to say you're sorry and just patch things up, like tie up loose ends, clear the air, because doing so, there's a chance that it could flare things back up, but it's not likely under a void moon. So, it kind of puts a damper on things. And if you're like, I shouldn't have said that thing, or maybe I shouldn't have reacted that way, or I'm still mad at the other person for how they reacted, but I just want to be able to move on and like not hold on to this or harbor this anger. The void moon is a really nice opportunity to just be like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, can we just be friends again? So I like using a void moon to do things that feel a little bit harder because I know that the impact isn't going to be quite as intense. And then the moon moves into Aquarius at 6 p.m. Pacific time Saturday night. Aquarius energy is eccentric. We might feel kind of an odd urge to do something weird or different on Saturday night, we might be able to see things from a new perspective as well after we've had these transformative conversations or realizations. The moon in Aquarius is like, okay, now we have a different perspective. We can see things a little bit clearer because we have this bird's eye view of the situation. So over the next few days, we'll really be able to start like integrating and understanding what has been coming out of these Mercury connections, this communication or processing we've been doing. And we'll be nurtured by community as well when the moon moves into Aquarius on Saturday. So this is the time to reach out to your friends, maybe actually talk through whatever it is that you just, maybe with someone else, whatever it is you just kind of processed. At least for me, I'm someone who like really needs to process things verbally. So leaning into community sometimes and just calling up one of my best friends and being like, this is what's going on, and repeating it to them. It's like, for me, like, it's selfish, and they know that, that I just need to like speak it out and get it out of my system. So that might be something that comes up for you where you're like craving your friendships or your community when the moon moves into Aquarius Saturday night into Sunday. And like I said, be open to new experiences. This might be a time to crowdsource or brainstorm. Like, how can you level up using that transformation you just went through? How can you extend that to your community? How can you share what you've learned? How can you take this to bring yourself to a new level? We still have Mercury squaring Lilith on Saturday though. So again, that intentional communication, not letting ourselves get too heated, too bold, too mean is going to be really important for us. But I'm seeing a transformative moment for a lot of us on Saturday as Mercury makes its final connections in Pisces. It's this supportive angle to Pluto, the planet of transformation, asking us to release, to let those subconscious fears and beliefs surface so they can finally come out of us. But we have to be willing to be empathetic and compassionate and vulnerable and go deep in order to have this transformative moment, whether it's a conversation with someone else or a realization within ourselves. The Capricorn moon really helps us keep our senses about us on Saturday, though. Even though there could be some intense communication, we can see things through a practical lens. And the moon is making positive connections to Jupiter, then Neptune, and the North Node, allowing us to see those silver linings, move towards our purpose, see the bigger picture, maybe through even some slightly rosy glasses, even with a serious Capricorn moon. But there could be a really intense moment on Saturday afternoon, a really transformative moment when the moon connects to that sextile between Mercury and Pluto, highlighting powerful emotions, asking us to release, to let go, to let the past die in order to move into the future. So we could end the day with an entirely new perspective, especially when the moon enters Aquarius. We can see things a little differently, and we might want to do things a little differently by Saturday night. All right, let's move into Sunday. And if you're new here, I will go ahead and add chapters at the very end to the timeline. So if you want to come back and watch this on Sunday morning, you can just jump right to Sunday, jump right to Saturday, whatever feels best for you. So Sunday, we have a shift in energy as Mercury is going to enter Aries, and the energy is going to be kind of fiery on Sunday. It's going to move from this like deep, transformative, communicative energy to like, okay, we got to do something. We got to move. So that's the Aries energy. I mean, the sun is in Aries as well, but Mercury is going to join it in Aries, which means not only are we going to want to like move a little bit more and be a little bit more expressive and outward facing, but also we're going to want to speak that way and communicate that way too. So Sunday's affirmation is, I channel passion through movement. And this is something we can think of all throughout Aries season and any sort of like really fiery season in astrology. Movement is our medicine. Movement is our release. Movement is our outlet. The moon's still going to be in a releasing phase in Aquarius, and moving our body can really help us push stagnant energy out. So that's just a little reminder, regardless of, if it's Aries season or what planets are in Aries. Anytime there's a ton of fiery energy, it's like move the body, move the body. Anytime really, especially if you have a lot of fire energy in your chart, move your body. It's going to be huge for you. Okay, so let's talk about what happens when Mercury moves into Aries. Mercury's transits are starting to go really fast. It's in forward motion, and that means every 2 weeks we've got a new Mercury transit. It probably feels like, wait, Mercury just moved into Pisces, right? Yeah, and now it's about to move into Aries. So Mercury, just as a refresher, is the planet of communication, intellect, ideas, thought, reason, curiosity, technology as well. That's why we get some tech glitches during a Mercury retrograde. But don't worry, Mercury is not going retrograde anytime soon. I believe planets are all in forward motion through April. Let me double check that so I can actually give you a real date. But right now, all of the planets are moving forward, and hallelujah for that. So let's see. Okay, very end of April, the 29th. Pluto stations retrograde. So not even an inner planet, an outer planet. Still, I mean, it is a retrograde, but we'll talk about that more at the end of April. We'll just celebrate the fact that the planets are moving forward right now. So Mercury moving in forward motion, making our thoughts, communication more clear when it enters Aries. Mercury does not like being in Pisces. It is at fall in Pisces. Mercury likes precision. It likes reason. And Pisces is not it's not known for being reasonable, okay? So you might have had these like fantastical, dreamy ideas and thoughts over the past couple weeks, big ideas. This was the time to dream big. Let your imagination push its own boundaries and like dissolve its own boundaries. Like let your mind, just totally be in the clouds. Now that Mercury is moving into Aries, it's like, okay, expect the rapid thoughts to come through. We have more energized thoughts. Aries can be a little bit aggressive or impulsive. So don't be surprised if thoughts feel like they're just like boom, boom, boom coming in. Same with words. You might be speaking more quickly, really trying to get to the point. Aries energy is very direct, just wants to get there, and very confident too. So we can expect more confidence and stamina and energy behind our thoughts and words over the next 2 weeks. If there's something you've been needing to say, it'll be hard to hold back when Mercury is in Aries, especially if you're feeling passionate about something, like that is going to come right out of your mouth. So beware of that, especially if you're someone who's already kind of naturally like that. When Mercury is in Aries, it's like, okay, we might want to slow down a little bit with our words. You know what just came to mind, actually? We love Miley Cyrus in our house. And the song Midnight Sun by Miley Cyrus specifically is a banger. Highly recommend if you haven't listened to it. But she has this line in it. She's a Sagittarius, very fiery person. But this is like the energy of Mercury in Aries. She says, can't bite the devil on my tongue. Like that's Mercury in Aries. Like that devil is dancing around on your tongue and it is going to blurt something out if you don't keep it in check type of deal. So just remember, not every conversation has to get heated. Beware of being too aggressive. Sometimes when we're trying to be direct, it can come across as very direct or very aggressive, I should say. Something else that comes to mind is, working in news for many years, you meet people from all over the country because you're working in newsrooms, in different cities. Everybody's coming from everywhere. And I met one of my friends when I was working in Reno, and he was from the East Coast. And I remember at first I was like, this guy is a total jerk. Like, he just says whatever he wants. He's just so like brash, and like he's from Philadelphia too. So if you know Philadelphia, you probably get it. But I was just like, ugh, like I do not like that. And then I was like, oh, that's just kind of an East Coast thing. They're just more direct. And me being from California, we're like so passive. We're like, if you wouldn't mind, would you maybe please, blah, 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 and people on the East Coast are like, this is what I need. This is what I'm doing. I don't know if you agree with that. Let me know in the chat, like if you've experienced that too. We just have a very different style of communicating. And Mercury in Aries is definitely that East Coast, like get to the point. Like I wish I could do a really good Long Island accent or something, because that is Mercury in Aries. Like say it how it is. But we want to beware of being too harsh and moving too quickly with our words, with our thoughts. Also on Monday, when we were talking with Court about Aries season and all these transits coming up, I love what she said. She was like, Mercury in Aries is like, say it with your chest. It's like, yeah, like very aggressive. Like, yeah, that's so, read your audience, right? And make sure we're not being too aggressive. We don't want to be that person that's like mean or just overbearing. It can be a little overbearing when Mercury is in Aries. The moon is in Aquarius though on Sunday. So what's going on with the moon? Let's talk about it. Moon in Aquarius, Sunday will really be like reaching into that community. We'll feel nurtured by community, but we could find ourselves a little stuck in our own head with the moon in Aquarius or like off in our own world. So I would just say like expect the unexpected because of the transits that the moon is making on Sunday, and things could get a little weird emotionally. So just might feel a little funky. First, we wake up on Sunday morning with a nice supportive sextile between the Aquarius moon and the Aries sun. Anytime the moon and the sun form a supportive angle to each other or a flowing angle to each other, anytime there's a positive aspect between them, this is confidence, this is energy. We're feeling good when we're waking up on Sunday morning. We might even feel a little desire for excitement or readiness to do something, maybe do it differently. Just take advantage of the good vibes all morning long. The stamina we have, the energy we have, it'll feel really good waking up on Sunday morning. Now, by 3 p.m. on Sunday, things change because the moon squares off to Uranus. So that's why I say expect the unexpected. We could experience a surprise, a turn of events. Who knows? We don't know because Uranus is the change maker. It's the disruptor. There could be a disruption of some sort that likely we won't see coming with this 90-degree angle. And it could look like an outburst of some sort, maybe among yourself or among someone around you. But whatever it is, it's really going to force you to change perspective, and probably not in like a nice, gentle way, probably in a like, whoa, okay, we got to see things a little differently now or do things a little differently now. Maybe we'll feel differently about something as well with the moon in Aquarius. Whatever this transit causes, though, can provide some insight if we don't allow our emotions to get the best of us. So in this case, when the moon is squaring off to Uranus and the moon is in Aquarius, like I said, the moon in Aquarius can have us kind of like off in our own little world. Like we're just kind of like seeing things from a bird's eye view or floating on a cloud and like looking down. That's not necessarily the worst thing, actually, when the moon squares Uranus. It's not a bad idea to just kind of be the person observing in the background rather than interjecting, although we'll probably want to interject with Mercury and Aries. So, just try not to allow your emotions to get the best of you. And maybe this is an okay time to just kind of like, we're going to just fade into the background, check out a little bit. Don't want to get involved in a major conflict, or maybe you do. And if you do, then I'll leave that to you. More power to you. But yeah. And then this is the fun thing to talk about on Sunday, other than Mercury moving into Aries. Which, by the way, happens overnight, Saturday into Sunday. So when we wake up on Sunday, it's like, okay, hello, Mercury is in Aries. We're a little fiery. But then at 10 p.m. on Sunday, the moon in Aquarius meets up with Mars in Aquarius. When we're talking about Mars energy, Mars rules Aries. Feeling that Mars energy in Aries season in general, all of us are feeling a little more fiery, motivated. The pace is picking up a little bit. And Mercury in Aries is going to have more of that Mars aggressive energy with our communication. Now, when the moon meets up with Mars on Sunday night, 10 p.m. Pacific time, this can be very passionate. This can give us energy and strength and drive to move, as well as a perspective to act in a new way. So this can be positive for sure. This can just kind of give us a burst of energy or like will to do something. But when the moon meets up with Mars, it also has the potential, kind of the shadow side of this, to make us more impulsive and aggressive. So we're going to want to try to slow down, pace ourselves, make sure that if you're trying something different or trying something new, which is kind of the theme of Sunday, that it's not coming across too boldly, too aggressively. It's not coming on too strong. One of the best ways to use this energy is to move through exercise. When the moon forms a conjunction to Mars, it can feel like we have this internal excess of energy that like needs to come out, which can help us like move, but we have to have intention about how we're moving that energy, or it could come out in a pretty aggressive way. So a late night exercise on Sunday, even just like a walk or whatever exercise looks like for you, maybe putting on some music, dancing around to just move some energy through your body, could be really helpful on Sunday night, because we're going to have energy, and if we don't let it out, it could come out aggressively. So just keep that in mind. A conjunction doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It just means our emotions with the moon in Aquarius are really going to be infused with that Mars energy, and we're going to have a ton of energy behind them. So yeah. And then we'll do a little preview here before we pull a card, because on Monday we have another conjunction to talk about, and we'll dive into this on Monday morning. But Venus is forming a conjunction to Saturn, and shortly after, Mars will form a conjunction to Saturn as well, because they're transiting through Aquarius just a few degrees apart now. Actually, we'll see, where are they right now? This is on Sunday, right? Or Saturday. Let's see. Venus is at 20 degrees, Saturn's at 21 degrees, and Mars is at 16 degrees. So in about a week, Mars will form the same conjunction to Saturn. Venus conjunct Saturn, that's a doozy. That, like I said, we will get into all of it on Monday. But I would just say off the top of my head, before like really sitting and thinking about this energy, Venus conjunct Saturn can make us very aware of limitations, boundaries, worries in relationships or with money. It can really make us aware of limits in these areas of our life and teach us lessons about money, beauty, love, relationships, partnerships, Venus energy. With it being in Aquarius, though, the beautiful energy of Aquarius is even intensity is really here to show us a new perspective or allow us to connect or expand our consciousness, see things from a new point of view, and maybe even connect us to other people, to a community of people. So there's potential to come out of this conjunction, absolutely. Lessons are here to teach us, right? To help us move in the right direction. Saturn can be really intense, but ultimately Saturn gets a bad rep because it's here to push us in the right direction. If we're going on the wrong path, Saturn's like, no, push this way. So Venus conjunct Saturn could bring about a lesson or some sort of like boundary or limit being expressed around, again, money, beauty, relationships, partnerships, love, all those things. We'll dive into that on Monday, though. Let's do a little overview of Sunday. Basically just Mercury moving into Aries. Expect fiery communication, expect quicker thoughts and words. Just don't let your boldness get the best of you. We can be a little bit more aggressive or impulsive with our communication when Mercury is moving into Aries. But if there's something that's been lingering while Mercury's been in Pisces, it's going to be hard not to say it when Mercury moves into Aries. The moon's still in Aquarius on Sunday and starts the day with a supportive angle to the sun, making us feel confident, and we'll feel good vibes in the morning. But Sunday afternoon brings a square between the moon and Uranus. This could cause a major disruption, a change, an outburst that could force us to see things in a new light or in a new perspective. And we end the weekend with a conjunction between the moon and Mars. This is going to give us a lot of energy behind our emotions. Could be hard, again, not to blurt things out, or it could be hard to hold back your true emotions, but try not to be too aggressive because this could, again, cause some major conflict. If you're feeling an abundance of energy, we can channel it into like motivation or drive towards a purpose, toward a goal, or just channel it out of our body through movement, through physical exercise. That's really the key anytime we're talking about too much energy when Mars or Aries energy is involved. So that's Sunday. You guys are awfully quiet in the chat today, but I know you're here. All right, let's pull a card. We'll do a 3-card pull today from the Modern Witch Tarot deck. Feeling a little witchy today. So as we're getting this ready, this is your time to ask questions. Pull up the guidebook before we start shuffling here. Here we go. Okay. We'll do one for Saturday, one for Sunday, and one for Friday. That was way out of order. I am so excited for Mercury to not be in Pisces anymore, you guys. I'm a Virgo rising. Like, I like Mercury to be in a strong place. When Mercury is feeling murky, I'm feeling a little Mercury and Mercury out of it. See? If you watch every day, I'm sure you've noticed, like, my thoughts, my words have not been as clear as normal. So we're grateful for Mercury's empathetic, compassionate nature while it's been in Pisces. Grateful for the ability to dream big and imagine. It's been beautiful, but also excited for a different energy, maybe some clearer, more focused, direct thoughts and words with Mercury and Aries. All right. Okay, our first card is the Queen of Cups. That's for today, Friday. Our second card is the Star for Saturday. We love that. And then we'll see what's our Sunday card. What do we need to know for this Sunday? Six of Pentacles. Okay, I always give this disclaimer when I do tarot pulls. I'm not a tarot expert, so we just look them up in the guidebook and let that do the talking, because I don't like to speak on things that I don't know anything about. So our Friday card, like I said, our Friday card is the Queen of Cups. Now, where are cups? Let's see. I feel very eco-friendly using a digital guidebook, but there's just something about the physical guidebook that is really nice. Okay. All right. Queen of Cups this Friday. A comforting and therapeutic guide. She is deeply in tune with the inner worlds of emotions. Highly empathetic and creative, she spends a lot of her time gazing out into the waters of the unconscious, and it might be difficult to keep her on solid ground. If this card is you, trust your intuition and feelings in creative endeavors. If you search within, you will find a wealth of creativity and inspiration that will guide you down the right pathway. This is Mercury's last connections in Pisces. Leaning into empathy. How many times did we say that? Leaning into compassion, trusting your intuition, allowing your subconscious to come through as Mercury is about to connect with Pluto, as we're trying to release things that we've had stored deep in our subconscious, maybe for years. Leaning into creativity, that's not something we've talked a lot about with Mercury and Pisces, but that can be a great outlet for working through subconscious issues. If you search within, you will find a wealth of creativity and inspiration that will guide you down the right pathway. Mercury in Pisces has been all about finding that inspiration, dreaming big, and those dreams are leading you in the right direction. So this is a sign from the universe. Trust whatever little pings of inspiration have been coming through for you while Mercury has been in Pisces. You are deeply in tune with the inner worlds of emotions. I love that. Okay, for Saturday, we have the Star. And the Star, okay, remember on Saturday, we have Mercury forming a sextile to Pluto. We have the moon in the mix. We have transformative conversations possible. So keep that in mind as I read this. Darkness has turned into light. The Star is peaceful and content in her nudity. She's been born anew and became stronger from her trials. She is free and unburdened, not trying to balance or control anything, but is happily pouring her cups full of life, energy, and love out into the world. The ibis, symbol of creativity and inspiration, flies high in the sky above her, and the stars shine brightly for her. Despair has turned to hope. Your wounds are healing. Your scars are fading. So bask in this time of peace and serenity. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Let yourself be free and accept these calm moments. The earth and everyone around you will rejuvenate you, comfort you, and fill you with joy. You are a shining beacon of possibility, so dream big and wish on that shooting star. The final day of Mercury and Pisces connecting to Pluto, asking you to wish on those dreams that have been coming into your awareness, to believe in the possibility of those dreams. Remember, Saturday night the moon moves into Aquarius too, helping us envision and dream and free ourselves, open to possibility. Despair has turned to hope. Darkness has turned into light. Opening yourself up to vulnerability, to compassion, to empathy, going there with yourself, going there with other people can alchemize darkness into light, can allow the darkness that's been harbored within you, that you've been maybe hiding or cloaking in shame or fear. you can release that. You don't have to hold on to it anymore. And there are people who love you who will hold space for that. But more importantly, you can love yourself enough to hold space for that healing, for that transformation. I love this so much. Maybe my favorite tarot card, the Star. So amazing. I think that was definitely meant for me. I know it was meant for some of you too. Okay, Sunday we have the Six of Pentacles. So what does this mean? Let's find out. We have Cups, we have Swords, and we have Pentacles. Okay. Six of Pentacles on Sunday, remember. Mercury moves into Aries, and the moon is actually making supportive connections. It's a little spicy, but it is making a supportive connection to the sun, remember, on Sunday morning. So feeling confident as we wake up. Six of Pentacles. It's all about money. Maybe you've had a stream of good luck and you're rolling in it and relishing this newfound wealth. Be generous, but also be careful not to fall into bad spending habits. Can we say impulsive with all the Mercury in Aries, Mars conjunct the moon energy on Sunday, right? Where you're a little impulsive. So maybe if you're struggling and depending on others for your revenue, this is for you. You should see a good windfall soon, so use it wisely. Either way, be conscious of your attitude toward money and be wary you're not supporting mentally unhealthy habits. You know, as I'm reading this too, we did touch on this conjunction between Venus and Saturn. That's happening Monday, but we'll start to feel it on Sunday. And with this money card coming through for Sunday, if money has been coming up for you quite a bit, you might start to feel that Venus-Saturn conjunction, making you very aware of limits when it comes to money. Venus rules money. So also relationships, but since this card is all about money, I would say if this is for you, this is definitely for you. You know what I mean? Like this is coming through strong. So be conscious of your attitude toward money. It's all about how we believe, right? It's all about the limiting beliefs, the stories we're telling ourselves. This could be a time to really get intimate with those limiting beliefs and figure out how can we move through them? How can we release these bad habits? And spending more isn't going to make you feel better, I promise. So, wow, that was a great card pull today, you guys. Let's see, anything else we need to chat about before I let you go and enjoy your weekend? We've had a lot of new announcements this week. I'm working on launching some new merch in the shop over the next day or so. Bear with me. It's been a long week. Got a lot of energy with Aries season, but in a limited amount of time to do stuff with it. So that's coming. Look at thespiritualjournalist.com/shop in the coming days for some fun new astrology merch. Also, we have a new episode of The Spiritual Journalist next Tuesday at 1:11 p.m. with The Affirmation Addict. I'm so excited to talk all about affirmations. They have been transformative for me, and she has a whole business around affirmations. So I can't wait for you to meet her. And actually, next week's episode will be the first sponsored episode. I'm so excited to announce a sponsorship with Astrocharts. We have their tool on our website right now, so you can go to thespiritualjournalist.com/birth chart and get a free copy of your birth chart, absolutely free to you, absolutely free to me. If you're watching these and you're wondering, okay, how do I apply this to myself? Getting a copy of your birth chart and just getting it out or saving it on your phone, even in a screenshot, can be really great to help you navigate things. And, you know, if we're talking about, for example, Mercury and Aries, and you have your Mercury and Aries, you'll be able to see on your birth chart, like, oh, okay, like this energy is going to feel very comfortable for me, you know? So yes, you can find the free astrology birth chart calculator on thespiritualjournalist.com/birth chart, or you can just click the QR code in the corner of this live stream. You can take a picture of it with your phone, and there's a link right there. But starting Tuesday, you'll also start to see the Astrocharts logo on all of our Spiritual Journalist content, and I'm so excited to partner with them. If you're someone who is maybe past the point of just being introduced to astrology, I love this site because you can create an account for free. You can create as many birth charts as you want. And like I store mine, my partner's, a synastry chart, major charts I'm using for upcoming shows, things like that. You can store as many as you want. They also have composite charts and tons of celebrity birth charts. I always use them when I'm curious about a celebrity's placement. So I'm so excited to be working with Astro Charts. Seriously, a dream come true. I love the design really of their charts. They're just so clean and beautiful. And also, if you do want to start diving more into astrology, we can do a reading together. We can start just with your free birth chart. And if you're looking for more guidance, I can help you through that. Or on my website, there is an option if you look up your free birth chart to buy a $25 report through my website. It's instantly populated and sends to you. And it's like a 50-page report, you guys. So it's definitely something, if you like to learn on your own, I would say that's a great option for you and a nice entry price point. So lots of options to you, but just really excited to be working with Astro Charts. I love their product. So that's my big announcement for this Friday. And we'll have even more fun stuff to announce, more new stuff next week for this astrological new year. Grand Rising Beauty, thank you for being here. All right. That's going to do it for this episode of Transits today. If you missed any part of it, this video is live always on my YouTube channel now. And like I said, I'll go through and mark out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so you can jump to whatever day, whatever topic most interests you this weekend. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I hope that this astrology live stream was helpful for you to navigate the energy ahead. If you found it helpful, if you could please go ahead and like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can monetize this channel and keep this content coming to you every single day for free. And we'll do one last moment with today's affirmation, and that is, I speak my peace with grace. I speak my peace with grace. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself today. Thank you so much for showing up for this community today, for joining me on this journey of self-discovery. I love you. I hope you have the most beautiful weekend, and I will see you right back here on Monday morning. But until then, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.